And welcome. As we go ahead and take a quick overview of everything that we've kind of done with C++, let's go ahead and do some of those basic things that we've talked about, whether it's variables to strings to input and output. So first thing I want to do, of course, is since I know I'm going to be working with strings, I'm going to go ahead and bring in another include statement here, which is, of course, what is that include statement? Well, we're going to be working with strings, so we need, of course, to have that string library. So if we start typing in here, so we're including the string.h file, and let's go ahead and head into our main, and I'm going to remove this hello world. Instead, I'm going to change this to, let's see, enter two integers. And so this, of course, is demonstrating our ability to write out. So let's go ahead and read in. So I'm going to create an int. I'm going to call this num1 and another one called num2. And let's go ahead and have cin be for num1, and then we're going to do another one for num2. And since I'm doing more of an incremental coding approach, it's always good just to test this out. But in order to test this out, let's go ahead and do a cout, and we'll just say the two numbers were . And we'll say cout again. All right, let's give it a quick test, see how our incremental approach is working here. All right, it's saying enter two integers. So far our program's looking good. So let's go ahead and enter. Let's just do 5 and 7. And we get the two numbers were 5 and 7. All right, so that's looking really good. Let's go ahead now and grab a string, shall we? So with a string, remember we have to use the get line. So let's just a cout, and we'll say we want to enter in your name. And of course, we'll add a new line escape character here again, just because that way we don't have to worry about that being on the same line. And we want to have a string. We're going to call it your name. And let's go ahead and say let's use the get line command. So get line. And we'll do cin, comma, your name. And that, of course, should get that in there. And what we want to then, of course, do is go from here to include that. Now notice I do have a undefined here, so let's see, include string. Oh, I had a string.h here, so a little oversized there, so now this should fix that in a second. And so now we have to write that out. So let's go ahead and say, quote, your name is, and I'm actually going to choose to also join this now with your name. Give that a quick test. So again, two integers do 5 and 7, and we get your name is. So notice it did not actually take that in. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. So we have enter in your name, string your name, get line, cin, your name, and then even though it spat this out, we didn't actually get a chance to actually input that as a string. But we'll just hold off on that for a second. So right now things are working. I'll make a note to revisit this. But let's go ahead and do some quick variable addition. So we know we have num1 and num2 stored here. So let's just do a cout, and we'll say the sum of the two integers is, and then we can do num1 plus num2. Oh, put that colon in the wrong spot there. And let's go ahead actually and join this here with another new line escape character, so we can make sure that everything is getting into the proper location that we want it to be. And in fact, I'm probably going to want to actually join this here. So we can make sure that, again, that's on a new line of output. And what else can we show here? So we have, of course, integers, we have strings. Why don't we go ahead and create a quick function? So I'm going to go up here and let's create a integer function, and let's just call this multiply two nums. And let's have it pass in parameters of int num, or how about int a, int b. Just real simple. And all it's going to do is it's going to take a, we're going to actually return a times b. Again, very simple demonstration here, but it gets the idea across of how to use that method. And so let's do a cout, the product of the two integers is, and then we want to call multiply two nums, and we're going to pass into that num1 comma num2. And again, end that with an escape character. And so let's test this again one more time. All right, so we are entering two integers, so let's do 5 and 7 again. All right, and we got the two numbers were 5 and 7. Enter in your name, and then your name is, the product, the sum is 12, product is 35. So notice it did end right here. Enter in your name, and then it left it right here. So I wonder if it's because we need to go ahead and pass that through. So we have enter in your name, which is a new line. We're going to go ahead and actually add in right here. We know I did see that we need another escape character. So that should help address that issue. All right, and so I did a quick little bit of side investigation and found that apparently Visual Studio is having a little connection fit. It's not letting me go ahead and run this, so I had to have some additional troubleshoot settings. But for a demonstration purposes, this of course should work. And so if we go ahead and assume that everything is working correctly, this is a great demonstration for just seeing some of the different things that we can do with C++.